This is a story, Love in Mars. Now, Mars is livable. Found traces of water, planned for 40 cities by 2030. Spacecrafts designed by USA, built in China, controlled by India. It takes 20 years to travel. Life expectancy will become 500 years on reaching there. There are problems in extending earthly human beings to 68 times their lifetime. They need a thicker skin and few more modifications. Wait. Here comes solutions. Encapsulate the skin, enlarge brains by longo neurosurgeons, then follows other organs of the essence. They instructed, don't leave out their love organs, fellas. The superhuman is born out of ordinary brain. There are 5 million Kiwis waiting for being transported to their new town of New Zealand in the southern part of Mars. Now land rights are ensured in Mars. It's a general formula. Countries take similar proportional land, similar proportional orientation as that of Earth near the Martian sand-filled oceans. Did I say 5 million waiting for the spacecraft? I missed out something. It should read 5 million Kiwis waiting to board the next spacecraft. It can carry 10 million per space flight. There is space for the luggage, including their solid homes and other public utilities, roads, etc. 5 years ago, Kiwis made everything transportable. But sad, they cannot take their kittens, cats. Kittens and cats prefer to stay back as is their nature. New Zealand Parliament has the most MMP democratic government. Listen to their voices. Send the voices for voice recognition and acceded their little land rights and their right to stay in their little own land. In the MMP votes, some Kiwis also voted against going to Mars and wanted to remain in New Zealand. It's the same person in other parts of the world as well. They got their 4-bed sure options, and sadly 1 million people all over the world decided to stay back. Governments gave them the prime land in coastal land as a compensation for fleeing from them. They didn't join the superhuman project before going to Mars. Some governments world over are changing their citizens into superhumans, changing their infrastructure into transportable mode. Soon they will also be in Mars. Now, US has 2 governments, one in Mars and one on Earth. As there are no more wars on Earth, all warcrafts are stationed in Mars. In Mars, the infrastructure is already created from plucked out earthly city infrastructures. No money to trade. Food in minute capsules can last for another 500 years in Mars. There is no education, as nobody has yet learnt anything in Mars. It's to be formed as a curriculum. Movies shot from Earth and packed to last for another 200 years. Upgraded casinos plenty. Maintenance not a problem, as they are use and throws. Maybe every 100 years. Still government is not formed. There will be a Martian general election. But it's 200 years away, as giving time for others earthly countries to come occupy their allotted places and settle, then only the democracy will work. No work, no money yet. What to do? People are at leisure. They started to look at each other, try to talk to each other deeply without reservations, unbusinesslike. Sex is more about physical carving. Each one tried to understand the other more eloquently. US citizens formed a convention of not talking about their old countries or lifestyle so as to avoid going back mentality. Now they hated all divisions created by cities, countries, etc. They started looking at opposite sex in different angles, one-on-one, and they lived like angels. Then someone said this is only physical and the children will be superhumans too. Still, they are not allowed to get children till the elections. Therefore, supermen started saying I love you to superwomen. Same way, superwomen started saying I love you to supermen. Then some wanted to be with group of people, and then the groups wanted to be with the bigger groups. Then a very large group was formed. It contained all the superhumans in Mars. Most of the time they will be talking to each other, drawing attention. In this way there is no enemy formed anywhere. Now comes change. After election they formed 2 major divisions in those superhuman beings. It went geographically as north and south. Both wanted to be always strong physically. Now after this change, those 2 divisions or at loggerheads all the time. Northern super people's first job is to secure against South and vice versa for the southern people. Now superhumans have jobs fighting, securing against the enemy or perceived enemy. People don't have time to talk to each other, love each other, but only have time for some physical sex, that too urgent sex. Now they are allowed to have children to increase the numbers on their side of the Mars. Urgent physical sex created urgent physical beings. They are born to increase their group strength. They even do sex in set hours in groups. They have no time to talk even lovingly. They created all nuclear warheads, and the government thought their physics is not enough to withstand the war. Northern government made ultimate change in design, and they found that a supersized lion is more suited, and 99% of superhumans in their territory were made into super lions. Southern land for a change made 99% of its superhumans as super leopards. The other 1% remained superhumans to control the super lions and super leopards. Now, super lions and super leopards are encouraged to multiply several folds. Because of the job at hand of securing their land and fighting, they don't even have time to talk lovingly. They share love only physically by sex. Their cubs are still more healthier and physically strong. Nobody cares about love anymore. There's fight all the time, and deaths are casual occurrences now. People who decided to stay back on earth, they were less in numbers, and therefore there's no competition. They have nothing but love and affection for the other beings. They were tranquil. Now they wanted to go to Mars and see other people. They sent messages to Mars. The Mars Northland, when getting messages, feared that the messages are from the Earth's Southland cities, and if they come, they may join the other side. Therefore they didn't reply. Likewise, the Mars Southland thought the messages are from Earth's Northland cities, and fearing they may join Mars Northland, they didn't reply either. At last, the ordinary human beings left out on Earth found 2 abandoned Martian spacecraft, and everybody of the million humans managed to squeeze in with their belongings. It took 20 hard years for them to reach. By the time they reached Mars, they became mostly old, as they didn't go into superhuman program. They are ordinary humans yet. Half of them land in north and other half in south. They can't now believe that Mars is occupied by lions in north and leopards in south, and so much war is going on there. They saw deaths all over super lions and super leopards. They were met by the 1% superhuman beings who control the lands. These superhuman beings have not converted themselves into lions or leopards yet. The new migrants were welcomed by these superhuman beings. As they are old, they are given a choice to live as they wanted or become super lions or super leopards. They prefer to remain as they are. They were encouraged to love each other so that more human beings will be born, and those babies would be converted into super lions or super leopards. These human beings loved each other without time constraints and fear. There were now 1 million young human beings born out of their utmost love. The government didn't want to convert them till 18 years as superhumans and then to super lion or super leopard. They thought it's not possible mentally before that age. But it has to educate these children. They can't find somebody other than the old human beings. Under strict orders, the children are taught to love their land first, and then only comes everything else. The old humans did that exactly. They taught the children to love their land. The children asked, which land? Elders asked the government in turn. It said, the land you are living, north or south. They asked, what about our parents, our teachers, and our neighbors? The government said they come only next to their lands. Their duty is to secure the land. Children couldn't understand that. In spite of teaching by the elders, they loved the land, parents, teachers, neighbors equally. When they turned 18, they were asked to go for super lions or super leopards restructuring. Children asked why. The government said, you have to be strong enough to guard our land. They said, in that case, why can't we be superhumans like you? There was a confusion. The politicians, the rulers, the 1% superhumans consulted each other, and as all the time they were managing super lions, super leopards, they thought it's a pleasure to be relieved by more superhumans to share their duty. They converted them into superhumans and trained them to run those lands and to control the lions, leopards. Having trained these 18-year superhumans, those 1% superhumans themselves became super lions and super leopards to guard their lands. The lands are now in the hands of newly made superhumans who were born of love and affection and who loved the land, parents, neighbors, and teachers equally. Slowly they felt that it was boring to just fight for land. They made super lions into superhumans again. They made leopards into superhumans again. They asked them to fight for love of neighbors and created neighbor love centers. These reconverted superhumans are trying to do anything non-violent to get the love of neighbors' love. It's not the physical love or sex. Some of them are trying to get the love of all parents. They will work to get appreciation from all parents, and there was big competition to choose the best love getter among them. About 25,000 parents are there. The competition is to secure their love by serving them in whatever way they wanted. Parents were gutted with love and they chose the greatest server of love. That superhuman was chosen parent minister. Likewise, competitions were held for other categories. He who won appreciation of 45,000 neighbors sent members by doing service day and night for a year got the prize and was made neighborhood minister. Likewise, now there are doctor ministers, children ministers, etc. After founding this love form of government, everybody is appreciative of the government, and the life of 500 years is spent in loving each other without being killed in wars and fights. As deaths are less and births are multifolded, love is the mantra. Now space has become a problem. Now they are sending a space minister who can withstand and convert sunlight into energy to the sun itself. They found other planets are not suitable, and as the sun has energy, they can convert that energy into water and other things. Their scientists found that. The plan is to land 2 million super humans like their space minister, who has utmost love to sun, and install a power cooling plant to divide half the sun into energy plant and half as land. The old humans in Mars still think it is impossible. The changed superhumans saying with love and effort it's possible. What about you?